Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Skip Bayless makes bold prediction about Cowboys next season. The Dallas Cowboys have had one of the NFL's most talented rosters over the last few years, but they have nothing to show for it. To make matters worse, they didn't make any significant moves this offseason, and some even feel they have had the worst offseason of any team, at least so far. Skip Bayless, who is well known as a die-hard Cowboys fan, outlined all of his team's issues right now and said his Cowboys will miss the playoffs this coming season while on his podcast. Not only have the Cowboys made only negligible additions in free agency this offseason, but they have three key players, quarterback Dak Prescott, wide receiver CeeDee Lamb, and pass rusher Micah Parsons, who are due for big contract extensions. Of the three, Prescott is the one many are talking about most as far as what his future may hold. Dallas is apparently trying to create enough salary cap room to keep all three, but the team also badly needs a serviceable starting running back. They have won 12 games in each of the last 3 seasons, but in the playoffs, Prescott failed to play up to his ability, resulting in them exiting early. There is now some speculation that owner Jerry Jones will simply let Prescott play out the final year of his contract, especially given all of his deficiencies in big games over the years. At the same time, the Philadelphia Eagles made big moves this offseason, including signing star running back Saquon Barkley, to Bayless' dismay, causing him to say they're by far the best team in the NFC East. Cowboys 2024 Free Agency Tracker, Offseason Moves, Signings. NFL free agency is off and running, and we're keeping track of every major signing, trade and release of the 2024 offseason, with analysis from our NFL Nation reporters and grades from our experts. The new league year begins March 13 at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which means free agent signings can be made official after that. The first round of the 2024 NFL Draft begins April 25 on ESPN. Here's a breakdown of every 2024 NFL free agent signing by the Dallas Cowboys and how each will impact the upcoming season. After initially agreeing to terms with the Chargers, Kendricks decided to join the Cowboys on a 1-year deal. What it means: linebacker was at the top of the need list for the Cowboys after getting through last season with converted safety Marquise Bell playing the spot after Leighton Vander Esch's neck injury. With Vander Esch's career uncertain, the Cowboys have a player more than familiar with Mike Zimmer's scheme after playing for the Cowboys' new defensive coordinator for 7 seasons in Minnesota. He has had at least 92 tackles every year of his career. With him knowing the scheme, his value goes beyond the field and into making sure everybody knows where to line up. What's the risk? He is 32 and maybe not the player he was back in his first go-round with Zimmer, but there is little financial downside on this 1-year deal. And it does not take the Cowboys out of looking heavily at linebacker in the draft. It takes some pressure off of Damone Clark with Kendrick handling the communication job. Lewis is back with Dallas on a 1-year contract. What it means: the Cowboys have their slot corner back in the fold as they prepare for Trayvon Diggs' return from a torn ACL that cost him all but 2 games in 2023. With Darren Bland, who led the NFL in interceptions last season, the Cowboys have a good trio that could be made stronger if free agent Stephon Gilmore returns. Lewis played in 16 games and made 8 starts after coming back from a serious foot injury in 2022. He had 52 tackles, 1 interception, 5 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries and 2 tackles for loss last season. What's the risk? There is always some risk, given the nature of the foot injury, but he played every game he was on the roster last season and got better as the year went on. It also protects the Cowboys at cornerback, knowing they have their top 3 corners back and won't need to reach during the draft. Lewis is one of the toughest players on the team and considered a core player at a demanding position. Dowdle is re-signing with Dallas for 1 season. What it means: it doesn't mean the Cowboys have an RB1 with Dowdle's return, but he at least had 89 carries as Tony Pollard's backup last season. He had 2 games with 12 carries. He finished the year with 2 rushing touchdowns and 2 receiving touchdowns, while catching 17 passes. Dowdle has had difficulty staying healthy, but he played in 16 games last season. He might not be a true number 2 ball carrier, but he can do the job if needed, while also having the ability to help on all 4 special teams units. What's the risk? Like the other additions, there's no real financial risk, and the decision to retain him does not take the Cowboys out of the market for another veteran in free agency or an early draft pick in April. Pollard's departure for the Tennessee Titans has the Cowboys needing more of a sure thing in the backfield, but they are likely going to use a number of backs to get the job done in a different way than they have done in recent years with Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. Freeman joins the Cowboys on a 1-year deal. What it means, it's another depth piece for the running back room. He had 319 yards on 77 carries with 2 touchdowns last year for the Rams. He was a 3rd-round pick of Denver in 2018 and has also spent time with Carolina and Houston. He has not had more than 521 yards or 132 carries in a season, and those came in his first 2 years with the Broncos. What's the risk? None. There is little financial downside, and it does not take the Cowboys out of adding a back early in the upcoming draft or even another free agent. The Cowboys still need a lead running back, but he brings some experience and a little more size to the other runners on the roster at the moment: Dowdle, Malik Davis, and Deuce Vaughn. Cowboys, Giants, Eagles are potential options for Bill Belichick in 2025. Bill Belichick presumably intends to coach again in 2025. Wednesday's #long read from ESPN.com identified the teams he reportedly would be interested in coaching. They are the 3 teams that many have already pegged as potential destinations: Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. Cowboys owner and GM Jerry Jones already has spoken publicly about the possibility of working with Belichick. It's something that might have happened in 2024 if Jones were willing to pay current coach Mike McCarthy not to work for the Cowboys in the final year of his contract. And the Cowboys make the most sense. That's a place where Belichick could say he fully intends to be only the coach and be held to it, since the front office and ownership are one and the same. The Giants become an intriguing option if co-owner John Mara is willing to turn the franchise over to Belichick. His name has emerged as a potential Giants option in the past, most notably when he was supposedly miffed over the resolution of the Brady-Garoppolo question. He also won a pair of Super Bowls as the defensive coordinator with the Giants. If the Eagles were going to do it, why wouldn't they have done it in 2024? The ESPN.com article addresses Philadelphia's potential interest in Belichick as a replacement for Nick Sirianni. The concern reportedly was that, post-Belichick, the Eagles would have to start over again after he leaves. Who would replace him? An unnamed source with first-hand knowledge of the Eagles' thinking told ESPN. He hasn't had a good record of developing coaches. They were afraid that he'll have changed everything and every person, and then you'll be starting from scratch again. He didn't demand those changes, but they felt like, if we hire him, we have to give everything to him and trust how he does it. So, frankly, the teams to watch are the Cowboys and maybe the Giants. If neither of those, he could be frozen out again in 2025. Which might mean he'll be frozen out for good. And you, fan, what do you think of the situation of Bill Belichick? Leave your opinion in the comments.